Hi everybody. A few days before this video I posted a picture of a set of wings that I made for cosplay, and some people were asking me for a tutorial video just to show them off. I didn't record any footage of me actually building them, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the wings apart so you can sort of see it in all its pieces. I'll put it back together, and then in the end I'll show you how they work. Okay, so I figured the easiest way to do this would just be to show them off like this, and then I'm just going to basically explain step by step what I did. First of all, down here is 2 pieces of plywood. I think I used 1/2 inch plywood for this. I drilled holes. These are the screws that hold the pieces together. Also, the straps that I used to secure everything, which you can see right here, they're just the sort of clamp on kind. They are secured in there. So basically I put the pieces together, drilled the holes, put the straps where the holes are going to be, put the screws through, put everything together. That holds it fine. Before I did that, I made the holes for these. These are two pieces of 1.25" PVC pipe, the 2 elbows, and then these 2 pieces here. These you can attach first and then size everything up the way you wanted to. I think these were about 1 foot, 1.5 feet, actually just about 1 foot. So I secured these down. This stuff right here is hanger strap. This was probably the easiest way for me to secure it. I was going to screw them in through the back, but I didn't want to put a whole bunch of screws to make it, to support it, because that would sort of weaken it if I put a bunch of screw holes in it. So I figured the hanger strap is the way to go. Don't let them tell you that this stuff doesn't exist, because the guy at Home Depot swore up and down that he had no idea what it was. A couple of 45-degree elbows, another 1.25" PVC up and down. I heat formed those. I'll show you a quick trick to how I heat formed those, which I also heat formed the bone structure of the wings here. I'm trying not to move the camera too fast. I don't want to make anybody sick. These were actually, this is a pulley, there's one on each side obviously, that I got from Home Depot. There was a hook attached to it like this. That was kind of difficult to take off because all I needed was this part here. And then the screws to put everything together. Basically, after for the 1.25" here, what I did was I took a saw and I cut out a section. I didn't have to heat form this or anything. Cut out a section and then drilled the holes which was going to basically be the axle that holds everything together. For this, I drilled, or I sawed a line down the middle. Then I heat formed it and pressed it so that it was flat across. I'll show it off after this, where you'll see everything put together up close, just so you can kind of, I mean, if you can see everything that I did here, it's not too confusing, I think. For the actual pull cords, I ran paracord. Paracord is awesome because it's really cheap, but it's super strong. So I ran it down. It comes down here. These are they're just little stoppers that I use so it doesn't go up. You can get something like hooks or round handles, something a little more presentable for whatever your costume is going to be, because this part is going to have to be exposed for you to pull them. Paracord comes up, goes around the pulley, comes down. Then I secured it with a screw right here. Now this was a little tricky. What I did with this was I tied a loop at the end of the paracord, measured on the outside how far down it would come till I got to the screw hole. Pushed it down all the way, and then I really just kind of held it there, stuck the screw in, and then pulled the paracord. If the paracord pulled out, I missed it. If it held tight, that means the screw was there. And then I just tightened it with the nut, and everything is fine. That was probably the trickiest part. Hey, so my trick for heat forming the PVC, the first time I made those wings, I made one side and then I tried to heat form the other side to sort of match up with it instead of making them both at the same time. So for this time, what I did was, this is just a demo piece. I took the two pieces after I cut the sizes, and then I use a painter's tape, starting at the ends and in about every foot or so, to keep them together as tight as possible. That way when I heat form them, they're going to end up forming in the same shape. Because if they form in different shapes, it's actually pretty noticeable, especially with the 1¼ inch arms that go up. But yeah, that's my trick. This is the pulley assembly put together. So you can see I just, there you go, sort of give you a cross section of it. It's the 1¾ or 1¼ inch, the arm from the, this is 1/2 inch for the outer part of the wing, by the way. The 1/2 inch, the pulley, the other 1/2 inch, the other 1.5 inches, and then a screw holding everything together. This is how it moves. It actually moves very fluidly. My one recommendation is to put a piece of duct tape up top. The paracord, sometimes without the fabric, it'll come out when you pull it, or when you are not pulling it, I should say, when you put it down, for instance. And then yeah, you just pull it. See if I can get it to work without actually wearing it. And then obviously when you're wearing it, the wing will come back down on its own. This is the whole thing put together without the fabric on it. What I did for the fabric, I actually just sort of laid them down on top of the fabric and then drew the lines for whatever wing shape I wanted, and then added extra space on top. Remember, you're going to be folding it over and then sewing it. These work just fine without the fabric, which is one of the reasons I built them this way, so that I could change the wing fabric to whatever I wanted to, and it was as easy as building what it was essentially slip covers. And this is the wings fully functional. They go a little higher. It's kind of tough to pull. But they go up and down pretty easily. So it's, something to try out. If you've got any tips, tricks, anything that you do differently, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see pictures if you guys make it, just what you do differently for them. Alright, thanks.